What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 133 of Value Town. I'm ChanManV, and of course that's Allie, and that's Jackie. What's up, guys?
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, so we are 1 week removed, or wait, how many days were we removed from the expansion was the next day, right? So we're exactly 6 days removed from actually getting a chance to play the expansion. And I've been having a lot of fun. What about you guys?
Oh, so much fun.
Yeah, I've been playing so many different things, and it's crazy how kind of like seen so many different decks, even though it's only been like 6 days.
I almost get a little overwhelmed when an expansion comes out because there are so many different things that I want to try, and I'm just like, where do I start? You know?
Yeah, right. I try to block it out, man. It's been hard because, you know, every time I look at the Hearthstone directory on Twitch, I just want to click on one of the streamers, obviously, with tons of people watching. But I've been trying my best to hold back. I couldn't last night. I had to watch Dog for a little bit, but exactly. But because of that, I've been able to just like kind of take my time. Like I've been kind of trying to go 1 or 2 classes like at a time, so I can kind of just play a deck and then try to understand it better and then figure out some things. But you're right. Like if you go and look at these Reddit threads or whatever posts that show you what all the streamers are playing, it's like, oh my god, like what do I play? Like these are all good. Yeah. So do you guys care about even climbing like in the first week at all? Or are you guys like just in total just let's play whatever mode? Yeah.
Nah, not at all. I'm literally just like, I want to play this and then play this and play this. And so I just got like 2 or 3 games with one deck and then 2 or 3 games with another. And then even if a deck seems good, I'll be like, no, I need to play something else. And just kind of as much as I can.
Just to shake it up. I still care a little bit, but at the same time, like, you might as well. I'm at rank 5, so can't lose stars anymore, so it's just kind of like, well, you can play whatever.
Yeah, that's the perfect place. That's the perfect place to do it. Man, nothing gets me more than like, people playing Pirate Warrior on day 1. It's like, oh my god,
So many people do it though. Like literally so many people are like, I'm gonna screw over all the people trying new decks with my Pirate Warrior.
It's like, it's time to get legend, baby. My once in every 4-month legend. It's on day 1 of an expansion.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as you can tell, we're on a different channel. We're on Allie's channel for the next couple months or next few months. So hopefully you're not typing or going to Jackie's expecting Value Town to be there. So I guess get used to it, and it's really, really nice to be able to do the show in front of Allie's stream and audience and everything. But we got lots to talk about. I think first thing is why don't we just get our experiences day 1. What were you guys doing day 1? Anything cool? Anything particular? Because I think we talked about what decks we were going to try out, and I don't think I stuck to my word on that one. What did you guys?
I didn't stick to what I said either.
Okay, what did you play first?
I said I was going to play the Jaina Death Knight, but I wound up getting Anduin, so I played Kazakus Priest. I think, yeah, I know. See,
so good,
when I was
so
playing
good.
Kazakus Priest, I thought it was like not that many other people were playing it, and then I soon realized that it was everyone. It was running everywhere. I'm like, I thought it was original, but apparently not.
That's hero power, man. It is disgusting.
It is brutal.
Yes. And we got a segment down below that we're going to be talking about that specific thing. But okay, Kazakus Priest. How about you, Jackie? I think it was that demon, right? That demon lock there?
Well, I started the first day like, I'm just going to play. I'll play 3 games with the deck and then 3 games with another deck and like just go through loads of different decks. So I started with some Death Knight Hunter and then some Hand Buff Paladin. And then I tried some Death Knight Warlock. And I was like, I'll just play 3 games with this deck. And then I ended up going 23 games without losing. And I was just loving the deck, so I just didn't stop playing it. And it was great.
Winning is
My
fun.
first day of the season was fantastic.
100% win rate for so long.
That's
insane.
ridiculous. That's crazy. And we barely even talked about that Death Knight last week. So the Warlock one, that's so funny. That was so good. But it's pretty much like a Demon N'Zoth, essentially. It brings back all those demons. So it's not that hard to imagine it being pretty good, especially on day 1. So what did I play on day 1? I definitely played Kazakus Priest on day 1 and realized how disgusting it was. And then I think I just really quickly went to Big Druid. And I've just been kind of stuck on Big Druid for a long time. I mean, I'd play some other stuff here for, a few games, but then I always come back just to Big Druid because it's so fun and disgustingly abusive in a lot of ways. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's super expensive though. The deck.
Is it? Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, I mean Big Drew's already expensive, but then you add in the Lich King, and
You playing Ultimate Infestation in that?
Yeah, just playing one though. Yeah, well, I think why don't we just go through some of these decks? Actually, I think we're supposed to show them anyways. So let's take a look at Jackie's Demon Locke first. Where is it? There we go. It's nice and short, man. I like showing short decks.
Yeah, all them 2-ofs.
I know. Exactly. I think it's all but one, right? So you actually have 16 in this deck.
Yeah.
So we're talking
just the legendaries.
Mistress, Coil, Voidcaller, Defile, Drain Soul, Tainted Zealot, Earthen Ring, Happy Ghoul, Shadow Bolt, Hellfire, Despicable Dreadlord, Dread Infernal. Wow, that's cool. Siphon Soul, Abyssal Enforcer, the Lich King, and then Blood Reaver Gul'dan.
Yeah, and I mean it is really, really good against aggro. Like any deck that tries to put minions on the board, they don't stand a chance. Your Defile, your Hellfire, your Abyssal, you just have so much removal that any aggressive deck, you seem to just. I was amazed at how well it did against aggro. Like when I was playing against aggro, I was like, oh, I'm playing Warlock. I'm probably not going to have much heal. I'm probably going to get smoked. But you can they can never get any damage to face with minions because you just kill everything.
That
seems good.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
How did you like the Dread Infernals? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I put it in just because I wasn't getting enough demons back from the Death Knight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's obviously not like insane. I mean, it's not bad. It's like a 6/6 with what I would say is probably a slightly good effect. But yeah, I feel like without it, there's not that many demons.
Because I was playing a Warlock list today with just the 2 Despicable Dreadlords and 2 Abyssal Enforcers and then the Voidwalkers, and it didn't feel like enough. So maybe the Dread Infernals, you do kind of need that to. I
mean, to be honest, even with the Dread Infernal, it still didn't feel like enough. Like quite a lot of the time, like if your 6/6s are in the bottom of your deck, it's just like you don't want to play your Death Knight until you've played a few demons, and so you kind of just hoping that your demons aren't at the bottom of your deck.
Like, where's those Imp Gang bosses, man?
Oh my God.
That would have been amazing with that card, right? Or it is amazing actually in Wild.
One of the best 3-drops ever created, I think.
I know, right? How about Lich King? Like, what's the experience with Lich King in this deck? Is it good to get Army of Dead? Is
good?
Okay.
Just good. I mean, it's just kind of. I just threw it in the deck. Like I hadn't played it at all. I just threw it in the deck because I thought it was probably going to be pretty good. And I have to say, it's slightly better than I thought it was going to be.
It's pretty
but
much in
really
deck.
you generally don't want Army of the Dead, I think, because you have so much removal in the deck already. Removal is not really what you need.
It's not, but don't you? It's not, but don't you like the flood though? I mean, even if you get 2 or 3 minions from Army of the Dead.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Army of the Dead is where you pull them from your deck. Right?
Yeah, that's the
one. Which is the one where you kill everything.
I don't know the name of it, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's the one you get.
I know what you were talking about. And then you remove the number of cards based on how many you remove, right?
Yeah. One thing I'm actually surprised about with the Lich King is when before the expansion came out and we're seeing all the the Death Knight cards you can get from the Lich King, I didn't think the 4 mana +2/+2 can't be targeted seemed like that good, but so many times it's just been great. Yeah,
it's good.
So good.
Yeah, it's amazing too. I agree with you. I didn't think anything of that one, but then it was kind of like Bear Shark for me. It was just kind of like, this is I can't do jack against that guy. So like putting that on there.
Bear Sharks.
I've been playing Druid all the time, so like I can't target anything to kill Bear Shark unless I throw down a big old 6/8, something like that. But yeah, I like that card a lot too. I think the worst one is the one that you were referencing before, which was the remove minions and then discard the based on the number you remove. Like that's the one I always don't want to get from Lich King. The 3 damage to all is not great either. So
I I feel like in this deck, the drawing the 5 cards and then summoning whatever minions, I feel like in this deck it's not that bad because you want if there's extra demons, you want them out anyway. So.
Oh no, that one, the Army of Dead is great. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
okay, sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that actually destroys all the minions, and then you discard based on that. Yeah. That one's I think one of the lesser. It sounds great, but every time I get it, I never use it. I literally never ever use that card.
Yeah, I mean, I think because it's one of those cards that you want kind of early. The only time you want it is if you're kind of getting swarmed against aggro. So I feel like it's a lot better if you get from Arthas and on like turn 5 or something, and then use it. Whereas if you're getting to play Lich King, you've already survived till about turn 8, so you're less likely to need that against things like Token Shaman or Druid or Paladin or things like that.
Yeah. Every time I get Frostmourne, I'm like, yes. Yes, Army of Death and Frostmourne. It's like, oh, you are so dead, dude. You are totally dead. Yeah. So definitely, there's home run picks with Lich King, more so than Ysera. You know, like these cards are game winning a lot of times whenever you get them. So Lich King is pretty awesome, and the title, whatever, Dr. 8 is maybe appropriate, and we'll see in about a month or so how many decks that actually have Lich King in it.
Sure.
Yeah, but anyways, cool deck. Definitely give this one a try, guys. Let's take a look at Allie's Kazakis deck here, and of course this is the complete opposite. Super long. In fact, it's like so long. I probably shouldn't even read out all these because they're so long. Definitely check out the notes, guys. Go to chanmanv.tv and you'll see the posts for Value Town, and the the show notes has all the decks in it too. But key cards, Allie, you want to point out some that are just amazing?
Yeah, this is just the list that I constructed on the first day. I really wanted to get a Bone Drake in there, so just for obvious reasons. Yeah. But it's a mix between N'Zoth and Kazakis, and I tried to get as many Death Rattle minions in there as I could. The Eternal Servitude's good for bringing back the Death Rattles, obviously.
Yeah.
And I had the 6 mana Embrace Darkness. I think that's what it's called, instead of a Mind Control originally. But I've come to the conclusion I think Mind Control is just stronger. But I had a really good time with it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Okay, cool. So Mind Control with no Medivh. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's why I was originally doing the 6 mana spell, but I think Mind Control is just, it's probably a little greedy. It probably is, yeah. I liked it, so.
Good stuff. Yeah, I played a Kazakis Priest too, so I didn't put N'Zoth in it, I don't believe, but I played a lot of the same cards you have here. And boy, like I've played against it more, but Obsidian Statue is a pain in my ass.
It's a good card.
It is
so
crazy.
good when I'm playing Big Druid. I'm like, God, why you gotta do this to me? I gotta play double Owls or double Spellbreakers or something just so I don't have to deal with that stupid card.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
The Death Rattle effect is where I think it really is irritating.
Thing. Right.
Yeah, I think people undervalued this card. A few people were like, oh, it might be too expensive, but I think in these type of N'Zoth decks with Priest, it's just super strong.
Yeah, I agree, and especially in Mirrors too. It's a 4 attack minion too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's harder to play around the death roll than I thought it would be as well. Like it's obviously easy to play around it if you're playing like a token shaman or something.
Right.
But if you're not playing a token deck, it can often kill. Like when I was playing my warlock deck, I was like, oh my god, it's either it kills a 6/6 or it kills a 6/6.
For me, it's 12/12 or 10/10 or 8/8. Yeah. So it sucks. True. Totally sucks whenever I have it trigger. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting card. It's one of those cards where there's just no good way around it. You just have to take your medicine. Pretty much. I mean, outside of mind controlling it, you can't do much, right? Let's see. Yeah, otherwise, I think the biggest thing to talk about Kazakis Priest, just for those that might not have played it, is the Shadow Reaper? Shadow Reaper Anduin's hero power mixed with Raza and the Chained. It's just a free 8 damage every turn, basically.
Yeah. And the thing is that Priest never normally has, like, burn. And it literally completely changes the game, because if the priest is against the deck that's probably not going to have much healing, you can literally just go face and just kill your opponent really quickly.
Yeah, you can go face, or you can just go removal too. Like it was removing all my big guys. There's sometimes, and it's just like big old tempo. They're playing like 3 or 4 cards, whatever minions, and then they're just removing whatever you have on the board too. So yeah, they have that versatility, and they just have that consistent 6 to 8 damage at least. Every single turn. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting.
Every time you're against it, you're kind of either hoping they don't draw Raza or the Death Knight. Like,
I know,
one
right?
of them is okay. Like, you're okay with just Raza, you're okay with just the Death Knight, but as soon as I've got both, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, the win percentage is probably ridiculous. Like, it's probably insane if they have both by, let's say it's just turn 10, right? If they've already played out both of them, then it's, I bet it's like 20% difference or something like that. It might be something drastic, 15 to 20%. But
I feel like Priest is in a really good spot, and I feel like for a really long time it wasn't. Like when Purify came out and everyone freaked out because Priest was bad. But I feel like they gave it some really amazing tools, and so I know it's kind of irritating at times because it's so good, but I'm personally happy that Priest is in a good spot. So
yeah, I am too. I think they've done a good job. I think I mentioned it on the just our last episode, but I think they've just been iterating up with Priest instead of just like having it. They tried it with the dragons, but thankfully that only lasted for like a few months because of when they released it. But generally speaking, they're just adding little tools, like last time it was Glimmerroot and Radiant, Elemental and Lyra, and that added a tool, but it didn't make Priest just all of a sudden crazy powerful. It just kind of leveled it up one. And then I think with some of these things, it's the same thing. Like there's nothing that's, well, outside of maybe the Raw thing, it might be a bit crazy. But all the other tools are just like, okay, yeah, this helps out with the N'Zoth Priest or the Quest Priest, and just helps even the Kazakus build too. So we'll see if this Raza thing is going to be broken or not. But so far, I think that the counter to it, right, has been, or what's keeping it in check is Mage, right? So I think I lose to Mage whenever I play this.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I mean, we'll probably see more different Priest decks kind of
pop up,
become popular, but I don't think Kazakus Priest is going to go anywhere, to be honest.
I don't think so.
It's too powerful, that hero power.
When does Raza rotate out? Next year?
Next year.
It will be next year,
Okay.
Yeah, next year. So we got 1 year of this, pretty much. It's going to be hard for them to encourage us to play, a double just a non-Highlander Priest whenever you have just that available.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've been playing Tempo Priest the last few days, like the Divine Spirit in a Fire combo.
How's that going?
Priest. And that's been going amazing.
Because, I wanted to try that.
Like so many people are playing. The cards don't really change since last expansion. We've got the new 2-drop, which is really good. I can't remember what it's called. The 2/2 at the end of your turn.
Oh yeah. That's the one I like. The one that buffs it, right? Yeah. The infinite buffing if you don't kill it, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's been going so well because so many people are playing slow decks like Druid and Death Knight Priest, and you can literally just smoke them or combo them. So that's been going really well on ladder.
What'd you replace, with the one that we did for Deck of the Week? Like what 2 cards did you replace for the 2/2?
I think I was playing like 1 less Binding Heal, and I wasn't playing Potion of Madness.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, good stuff.
Sick.
Yeah. Let's see. Next, let's take a look at the big Druid I was playing, which is
B.I.G.
I call it Druid B.I.G. That's right.
Notorious.
Exactly. It's very, very notorious. So pretty similar to like our old one, except for I have a Spreading Plague in it, have a Hadronox in it, and Ultimate Infestation, and then Lich King. So really only 4 cards different, but damn, those 4 cards make a huge difference. Like big difference.
Dang, you've got a lot of top end in this one.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is. Dude, I have a 68% win percentage with it. So
that is good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Pretty good.
And so the big plays with this deck are it's all about just like dumping a ton of cards on the board in one turn. So you just kind of count those because those are like auto concede plays. Like they literally just quit like whenever it happens. And then, of course, we know the Barnes one with the shards, right? If that happens. But the one thing about Barnes, I have to say, is Barnes got an upgrade in this deck because the whiffs, like the Bog Creeper whiff and the Primordial Drake whiff, they actually count as the taunts. So now Hadronox gets a free, gets an additional minion because of that. And then, so another play like that, of course, is Deathwing Dragonlord. I think we all know that one. Lich King has the Army of Dead. Oh my God, Army of Dead in this deck is just.
Oh wow, I can imagine, man. That's
ridiculous. I get 2 to 4 or something like that, and it's game over. I mean, there's very, very few classes that can remove 12 health, 10 health, 8 health minions. Like just multiple ones on the board, right? So that's awesome.
How many times have you done that? Like Barnes into Lich King on turn 4, and then just bam, Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. Twice. I think 2 out of
pretty cool,
40 games or something like that. Yeah.
Your opponent just concedes straight away.
I mean, there's many times they just concede, dude. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like amazing. And another cool play is Hadronox into Doomsayers. Like when they play Doomsayers, I just throw Hadronox down, and it's like GG. Or I throw a Hadronox down, and then I know I'm going to Deathwing it behind it, and then that's another GG moment, for them. So there's a lot of wow. I mean, you just throw down 3 or 4 minions in one turn, and these are big minions, right? So, of course you're going to lose if you don't get that ramp right, for whatever reason. But surprisingly, with the Spreading Plague, just one Spreading Plague, you can stay alive for just long enough that you can come back. The Alex, by the way, you can play around with Alex. You can either drop Alex and put in a scout if you want. But I was playing around with Alex. It happened actually because I was playing the adventure mode, and then I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna try Alex out too. And then
you can always find space for an Alliestrasza.
Yeah, right. And then lowering their health to 15 is pretty good because you usually don't have much tempo in the beginning, right? So if you're playing one of these mages that are really, really fast at trying to combo the hell out of you, you might actually need something quick. But super fun.
You only have 1 nourish in this deck, though.
Yeah, you don't need it.
You don't need the second one?
You don't need it at all. Card draw, you have no issues with card draw.
I'm just thinking ramp.
Even ramp is not bad because you have 6s. You have Moonglade Portal. I use the Moonglade Portals a lot of times just on my I don't heal at all with it. I just use it for tempo, and then and I don't know.
I like it a lot.
What?
I like it a lot. I actually think Nourish will stop seeing play soon.
Really?
People play in Jade Druid as well. Before, when Ancient of Law was good, no one played Nourish.
No one,
People only played it when Ancient Law got nerfed. But now we've got Ultimate Infestation. It's just it's just superior to Nourish. So you can have better tempo plays in the mid game and then just draw later on. Yeah. So I actually think Nourish will just disappear.
That's a good point. To be honest, I rarely use it for card draw. I almost don't even need it for card draw. Because, like you said, Infestation's 5 draws, and as long as you're drawing with Wrath too, you're okay. But I find myself a lot of times if I do draw with Nourish, I have to hurry up and just throw cards down so I can even use Ultimate Infestation without burning cards. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic. Surprisingly, I've never had issues with that. But this deck is full of cards that I totally got wrong in terms of predictions, like Spreading Plague, and I remember I said that it might be disappointing, and Hydronox I thought would be kind of disappointing. But
I've been very surprised by Hydronox as well.
Yeah. But anyways,
I see you playing Black Knight as well. Black Knight is crazy good right now.
Yeah, totally.
Seen it in a lot of different decks as well.
You kind of have to randomly expect it. Because it's be different. You're like, well, they could be playing Black Knight. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I call him the Lich King killer. Basically, he targets the Lich King so many times because a lot of the decks out there, at least right now, have it in there. It's like when there's small targets, there's a Stonehill Defender or something like that. I'm like, resist the temptation because there's bigger things coming. So Black Knight just is great, and it was already good. I thought pre-expansion. Now it's insane. Like there's like so
Yeah,
many
I mean,
targets.
it's like even like without the Lich King, there's so many like some of the best decks right now, like Jade Druid, like Murloc Paladin, like you use it on Spirewitch Steed, on like Tyrion.
Yeah,
Jade Druid's got Primordial Drake, Jade Behemoth. Like there's so many good things.
Yeah. So yeah, excellent card right now. It's pretty hard not to play it. But yeah, this is not a free to play deck, guys. So just straight up, probably won't be deck of the week. But if you can afford this deck, God, it's so fun. It's like ridiculous amounts of fun. Okay, so let's see if we're gonna moving on. Let's talk about legend drop rates. Yeah, so I had this whole discussion ready to go, and then of course last night I had to open 60 packs. I just completely wrecked every point I was going to make today. What were your legend drop rates?
You can make your points anyway.
Yeah, I'll definitely will, but I want to get y'all's take on drop rates first. Like, what was it like for you guys?
I got 16 in 200 and what did I say? 30. 16 in 230.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, that's better than me. I got 11 in 216.
Okay. So before yesterday, I was 8 and 170. So probably a little bit worse than you, Jackie, but definitely a lot worse than you, Allie, right?
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I opened 60 because I was like looking at Dog's Mage, and I was like, hey, I don't have this one epic. I'm like, yeah, I might as well just open these up. Like I had like 60 packs or whatever. Yeah, might as well open these 60 packs. Yeah, I don't know why I was kind of holding it, waiting for my daughter to open them, and I'm like, she's asleep. I'm just gonna open them now because I need to prepare for today. And so I went ahead and opened it. My first 4 packs, it went Legend blank, Legend double Legend, and then even Mike Donay like messaged me like, nice dude, or something like that. and then after that, I ended up, after the 60 packs, I ended up getting 11 legends from 60 packs. So
wow,
that's insane.
You got 11 from I got 11 from 216. You got 11 from 60. You kidding me?
Totally wrecked my points I was gonna make. So I was gonna say, does the drop rate seem less this time or not much different? But now I'm like, oh god, I don't even know what to think anymore. So.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I got super lucky. Yeah, this is crazy. I've never been that lucky with packs. So, yeah.
I feel like sometimes I have like lucky expansions and then really bad ones.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in Goro I got wrecked, but in Whispers of the Old Gods I was like getting so many legendaries. So yeah, I think it's RNG. Just depends.
Yeah. The expansions where I actually have good legend drop rates, I would then have something bad like they would be repeats. So now that we don't have repeats, then oh man, it definitely worked out really well because getting uniques. But yeah, I tweeted out just generally just to see what people's drop rates were when I was originally had like 8 out of 165 or whatever it was, or 70, and I don't know, everybody's drop rates just seemed like it was a little bit on the lower side. So what is the official average right now in the community? Like when all those Redditors that did the math, just sample size, like what is it supposed to
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll never know. Blizzard's never going to tell us that.
We'll look up the average a little bit later.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, part of the release also was the adventure mode. So that was definitely something I was looking forward to doing, and I finally got around to it. I was like really into just playing the decks for a while, and then finally the last 2 nights I decided to do the prologue in the first wing. Did you guys get a chance to do the adventure mode?
Yeah, did it pretty much straight away. I actually thought the first challenge was actually hilarious. All the
the one where
the
he kills you?
AFK and all the emotes and all the all the speech in it. I was loving it.
God.
I was loving that.
The voice lines are the greatest, dude. Totally. How about you, Allie? Like, did you get a chance to do it?
Yeah, I had a fantastic time. I did the prologue the first day that it came out, but I did the other 3 sections last night, and so I had a really good time. Played some. I mean, we should talk about the decks that we played.
Yeah, totally. Well, first off, what did you guys think? Was it? It's supposed to be harder, right? I mean, that's the thing that they were telling us prior, that it was supposed to be harder than the previous ones, but I didn't find that at all. Like, I actually found it to be pretty easy.
Well, I think that was a bit of a meme, right? They were kind of memeing, oh, the first challenge is like really, really hard.
not the
and it was
first one.
actually the easiest thing in the world.
Not the first one, but
okay.
the just generally, like even the first wing. I didn't. I think I only repeated the third one once, and that's it. Actually, I think the first two I did on my first try.
Yeah, I got them all in one go.
Really?
So.
Really?
Wow.
I had to play again multiple times.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think I just picked good decks.
Yeah, that's same.
Yeah, I might have been memeing a bit too hard. But,
Maybe.
yeah, we're in the second one where you have to kill them with weapons. Yeah, no, instead of playing Pirate Warrior, I was playing Divine Shield Paladin with the new 4-mana weapon. Where it gets one attack for every Divine Shield you pop. So I was playing loads of Divine Shields. But...
Yeah, I just played Pirates.
Yep, I just played Pirates too, weapons and Pirates, and yeah, I think the AI made an error, an AI error for some reason didn't attack my minion. I just killed him, so that was interesting. But going,
there's one.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's one bit in the last challenge where you have the dragon that goes to 1 health, and every single turn, his hero power is set your opponent's minions to 1 health. And so you just have 1 health stuff all the time. And then when you're about to kill him, the Lich King comes up and says to the opponent, "Why don't you have Arcane Explosion in your deck?" I was couldn't stop laughing. That was so funny.
So when I did the last one, I played Exodia Mage, and so I just completely didn't care about and what happened is at the end when I got, I completed the quest, I forgot that there isn't a rope when you do the adventures, but I thought there might be, and so I started to get like panicked. I'm like, oh my god, it's so much health, I'm not gonna have enough. I was fireballing like crazy, and then at one point the Lich King like yelled at me. He was I don't know if you guys got this as well, but he was like, quit messing around, because I was just fireballing. It was yeah.
You think that hurts? Keep hitting me harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or keep hitting him
it worked
harder.
out pretty well though.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, the last one. Actually, what did you do on the last one, Jackie?
I had a priest where you keep healing your dragon up with circle of healing and things like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, circle.
It took me about 3 times though.
I didn't even think about circle. Yeah, when I was thinking about healing, and that's the approach I took. I was like, oh, Paladin has a bunch of things that are more than 4. There's 4 or more, right? So I ended up picking Paladin, and you know what happened with Paladin is like I picked the 2 of the one, like the Argent Squires, the new Argent Squire guys with a taunt. So I ended up getting those 2 in equality in my starting hand, and the weapon, the 3/2 weapon, that buffs Divine Shield
Rallying
or whatever.
Blade.
Yeah, Rallying Blade. And so I just threw down the 1/1. I used equality, and then the 3/31 guy isn't damaged anymore. He just is 1, and then just attacked. What is it? 5 times or wait, was it 4 times? I think it's 4 times, right? It's like 90 armor, right, or something like that.
It's something ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's how I ended up winning it. It was it was like really, really quick. So I think I just got super lucky. I think it's supposed to be a little bit more challenging. I think Allie was a lot smarter than I was with the way you did that.
The first one I played Big Priest.
I played Big Druid in the first one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you just kind of flooded the board until you had enough damage. And
yeah, the first one, by the way, those that maybe might not have played it, is the hero power is heal them all the way to full health. Heal the hero back to full health. So you have to kill him in 1 turn, basically. Mm-hmm. So Exodia probably would have worked for that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just playing like a Death Knight Hunter and just got a load of big beasts and killed them in 1 turn.
Yeah.
But I was basically just playing the deck I was playing on ladder, and that was fine.
Yeah. So I think the real question is maybe the next ones are going to be harder, and there's no heroic in this, so I almost feel like there's less so far in terms of content. There is that whole finishing with each class, but we can't. I mean, there's no counter, or there's no check marks that show you if you finished it with priest or paladin, or so. I'm wondering how we're gonna even know to try to get that Arthas skin. Which
are you guys gonna go for it?
I was just talking to Jackie about that, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I am. It's a lot of effort, man. Just for a skin? Do I need that skin, really? I'm not a skin.
Paladin, right? Paladin.
Yeah, it's Paladin. Arthas. Yeah.
I do like Paladin.
You know what? That last one, that 30, and the one, the dragon one, that's going to be hard for Warlock or something that where the 30 guy is basically a non-factor at all. Like, what could you do with Warlock to make him a factor? Yeah,
I mean, you could play Hosen Healer, which you can play in every class.
True. Yeah, I had Hosen Healer.
You can only do 2 of those.
Yeah, that's about it, right?
Are you play like Farseers and Voodoo Doctors? Oh, I don't even know, man.
You might just have to beat them straight up, like just out tempo him to the point where you're just like trying to do 10, 15 damage each turn. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting.
Just play the Death Knight and just hero power him every turn.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, so we're looking forward to the next adventure modes. They're going to be coming out in the next couple weeks. But next thing, why don't we talk about... why don't we give a quick shout out to some of our patrons. So Value Town guys that you guys don't know for whatever reason, Value Town is 100% supported by the Patreon right now. So if you want to support the show, like what we do, go to patreon.com/ValueTown and take a look, pledge $1 or whatever you have available. It really, really helps us out and allows us to continue doing this since this is what we do, right? For a living and everything. Also, we want to take some time, give a shout out to some of our current patrons because you guys are awesome and amazing. So big shout out to Mike T, our producer, our legendary producer, as well as William C, Gary D, David T, Vince F, Alex F, Bruce W, Michael O, Elwood P, Eric F, Brendo T, and N Burst. Thanks so much, guys. You are the best. And don't forget, Deck of the Week. We're going to be starting up Deck of the Week again this week. So we'll let you guys know which one of these decks that we talked about that we're going to be doing. And then, obviously, our patrons are our guests on our mini show that we usually do on Mondays. Lastly, you can find Value Town on iTunes if you guys like to listen to us, on your iPad or iPhone or whatever, when you're working out, on the way to work, whatever it is, just search for Value Town or search for Hearthstone, you'll find us. And if you want to help us out too, just by taking a minute or so, you can leave us a review, and really helps out with people trying to find us when they're searching for that. Big shout out to Jay Spagna for leaving the last one. It obviously really, really appreciate that. But okay, let's talk about some more cards. So we did this whole thing where we were rating cards and we gave our opinions as to which ones we thought would be great and which ones we didn't. I figured we'd do something kind of similar, but just more general. So we've got the first one is this deck broke, which is
broke.
So which is basically, what decks do you think are just crazy strong right now, and you think will have a lasting impact on the meta? Jackie, you want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, Druid has been kind of everywhere. Like, Druid has been pretty insane.
Yeah.
There's different types of Druid. Like, there's Jade Druid still popular. There's Big Druid. Taunt Druid has been very popular as well. Like, it's kind of a new type of Druid, which is kind of tokeny, but making use of the new 4-drop. I can't remember what it's called. What's that 4-drop called?
Serenite
that buffs your taunts.
Oh yeah, the +2 to your taunts, right? +2 to your taunts.
Yeah, like that card is really, really strong with the amount of taunt minions that Druid has.
Yeah.
And that's been a bit of a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah, it's called...
especially when combined with Spreading Plague. I'm still trying to remember the name of the card.
Strong Shell Scavenger.
Yeah, Strong Shell Scavenger. It's right on the left.
4 mana, 2/3.
Yeah, so I'm showing basically the Taunt Druid, and then I have the Jade Druid next to it. And yeah, I agree. I think these two, I think it's super strong. I played some Jade Taunt too, probably about 25 games of it, and man, it's like really, really strong. Because you get those, like you said, those plague turns or what. You can even build it up, right, with Crypt Lord and things like that. And then you get Hadronox. Actually, my version has Hadronox in it, so this one's a little bit different. But if Hadronox is in it too, you can just refill your board and with a bunch of taunts again, right? And eventually combo
Bone Mare.
Yeah, Bone Mare's
insane in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's literally like there's so many different things you can do with Druid. Like I was even playing Mill Druid with like like a load of taunts, and then you play like Oracle and like Curator, Primordial Drake, and then you just play Hadronox. You can even play N'Zoth to bring back another Hadronox.
I know, isn't that crazy?
And it's really crazy. Like Druid feels like there's just endless possibilities right now.
Druid feels like Shaman like a year ago.
Yes.
It's like the dominant class right now. It's crazy.
Druid Stone instead of Shaman Stone now. It's basically Druid Stone.
Very much. No. That's why this episode is called Malfurion's World, or World of Malfurion. That's what we're calling this episode. Because he's ridiculous. You know, another thing too that I noticed that when I'm playing against Jade Taunt Druid is that when they get a naked Fantrel down and I just can't do anything about it, oh man, Malfurion, the Pestilent, that just breaks my heart, dude.
The 1/5 taunt poisonous minions are actually horrible. It's actually kind of hard to do 5 damage with one thing, and they end up just killing everything you have.
I've never had 1/2 poisonous minions be as effective as they've been this release. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so good.
It is kind of nice to see poisonous becoming a thing though, because it's never really in the whole of Hearthstone life, poisonous has never been something that's been popular, so it almost feels like a new mechanic because it's never really been played. So,
it's so tough because it's such a powerful mechanic that you know they had to be really, really careful with it. So it's really fun, guys. If you guys ever get a chance, it's not too expensive. It's on the it's not cheap either, but it's not expensive relatively speaking. So if you get a chance to try it out, definitely try this deck out because you know you'll feel that kind of token, like Jackie said, it's like a token feel, but it's more heavyweight than just those 2/2 minions and those 1/1 minions and things like that. It's really, really nice. There's a Crazed Alchemist in this. What's that for? Is that just for Doomsayers, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, you have a load of 1/5 taunts, right? So you can, yes, you can use it on Doomsayer. You can also swap your 1/5 taunts around to change it. Okay. Because a lot of the time you can play like Spreading Plague or something. Yeah. And then your 1/5s can die really, really easily. So it lets you trade up nicely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Question for you guys: do you think that Skulking Geist has done enough? Basically, in decks that you might have put it in. That's the Jade Druid killer card for anyone that doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it actually affects Jade Druid much at all. They can still get really, really big Jades. I think the only matchup it actually makes a difference in is like a fatigue matchup. Something like a fatigue warrior where you're playing Dead Man's Hand. I think that kind of needs to play Skulking Geist so you can get to the fatigue. But other than that, I really don't think it makes much of a difference at all.
I'm on the fence about it because I haven't been in the position where I was like, when I played the Geist and I'm like, they reached their limit, and I was able to outlast it because of that. I've never gone to a game that's gotten to that point. So to Jackie's point, when I'm playing Jade, I'm still basically in the midst of things, and games are basically won while they still have relevant Jade minions, with their Ayas and their Jade Blossoms and things like that. So I'm still on the fence about it. My gut tells me that it's not as powerful as a lot of people are. It doesn't necessarily just shut down like this particular deck. But I don't like Geist. I think that's a bad card. Like that's actually my least favorite card of the entire expansion because of how destructive. Yeah, because it's destructive to not only Jade but to other decks too. Like Evolve decks get destroyed by it, and I don't like that. I don't like that one card being able to screw up so many
entire deck.
Yeah, it's like taking a shotgun to something. It's like I'm just gonna blow up everything. By one card, or just kill a bunch of decks with that card. And so I'm not a huge fan of that card. That's
it could maybe see playing like a really heavy control Paladin as well potentially. But have you tried it in the Raza Priest at all, Ali?
Yeah, that's where I played it too. There,
I might have put it in there for a game or two, and then decided I didn't need it, and then took it out. I don't think I remember playing with it for a long time because I feel like with the Raza Priest, you can kind of beat Jades if you've got the Anduin and Raza equipped. Like you can sort of just ping their minions to death, or just
you can kill 8/8s pretty regularly.
Right? It's not that hard to
can.
clear their board with that free hero power. So
Yeah.
I think at that point I just took it out because I didn't really feel like it was needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. But Jade is strong. There's no question. It's doing
strong.
really, really well, you know, and I think that because it's doing so well, we're seeing a lot of like mages and things like that too, just to try to counter it. What's interesting about this new Jade is that, you know, one of the upgrades in Ungoro was Earthen Scale, you know, because of the healing, right? And that was like a big upgrade to Jade, you know, especially against classes like Mage. But now they dropped it for all these new cards, so they're susceptible to the Mage burn now. So it's really interesting. I mean, the Exodia is going to beat them no matter what, you know, like in those situations. But you know, just your straight up like freeze Mage. It's not.
I mean, I think that might kind of depend on the meta. Like, if freeze mage became a thing again, they'd probably start putting Earthen Scales again. Also, we have ultimate infestation, which is a little bit of armor.
Yeah.
The Death Knight is also a little bit of armor. So.
Yes, this list runs Crippler too over Tar Creeper. So remember we were talking about that last week, whether which one we thought might be better. That's kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Some of the others, you know, people listening, this one has Spreading Plague in it, and this is a Jade Druid. Spreading Plague in it. It's got 1 Bone Mare. It's got a Pestilent, Malfurion the Pestilent, and Ultimate Infestation for draw. So there's a ton to draw on this, man. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few different ways to build Jade Druid.
So no more.
Actually, I love no nourish, and I think that'll become a thing. But
well, there's no Gadgetzan, so that's one bit. You know, that's one big difference already.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Yeah,
I think the fact there's no Gadgetzan in Jade Druid is a fantastic thing.
Wait, fantastic to play against, or just generally speaking?
No, I think I think it's kind of bad because it's like if Druid has the Auctioneer with the nuts, it's kind of insane, and if they don't, it's just a dead card. I think it's just super like inconsistent. Sometimes it's crazy, sometimes it's dead.
Gotcha.
I don't like it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, all right. So I think we've established that Druid is super good. We know that. Another thing too is that we kind of talked about it too already, because Axis Priest is obviously super good right now with hero power. And then I brought Dog's Mage that he was playing last night. I figured it would be good to talk about, given those decks that we just brought up. Because those decks are so strong right now, this Quest Mage is doing really well right now. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, you know, and you know, Quest Mage was kind of, it's more gimmicky, right? And we did see some Quest Mages pop up here and there in events, but for the most part, it's been really tough. And I kind of cite Disguised Toast's just brutal climb that he would just be beating his head against the wall to try to get to Legend with Exodia Mage or whatever. And now it's actually becoming more and more viable. So this version's a little bit different because...
Slightly different, yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching Dog play it. He plays it in such a different fashion than I was expecting or seeing from a lot of just, you know, more inexperienced players playing this deck. So a lot of times he just wins purely on... things like simulacrum.
Simulacrum. I know, right? I don't know how to.
Simulacrum. Yeah. So he just gets simulacrum on the Sorcerer's Apprentices, and then mixed with Molten Reflections, and you get like more than 4 of them, and then you just start like cycling Cabal's Tongue. I mean, you just go through it all like super fast, and you just get all these freaking spells for free. And then you end up winning more in that fashion, and just with whatever you can get with Archmage, you know, afterwards. Sometimes you remove a Doomsayer, like you Doomsayer and then you Time Warp, remove the board, and then you have to play Archmage after that with, you know, just whatever you can get. So he was winning in all kinds of different fashions. He wasn't even using Nova Doomsayer together. He would use Nova separately from Doomsayer to like buy additional turns. That was like really interesting. So I've been playing quite a bit of Exodia, and that's one of the things I like about this deck is that it actually is more flexible than people think it is. Yeah. And I think that's what you're saying. And this is interesting, though. I was only running 1 Simulacrum instead of 2. It's interesting, though. But yeah, I mean, I think it's finally in a good spot where you can play Exodia Mage on ladder, and it's not, you know, a complete meme. It's crazy. Yeah, I think it's really, it's definitely really cool. And like you said, it's really versatile. I think there are certain spots like you try to get to with Exodia Mage. You know, there's certain like it's like positions in chess, right? Like you just try to get in those positions, like no matter how you get there. And once you know those positions, then it's just like you start realizing there's all these different, you know, plays and moves that you can make that you didn't even realize were going to be useful to you because they seem so bad tempo wise and things like that. So yeah, it's a really cool deck.
I was also playing the new 4-mana card, the 2/6, summon a mirror or add a mirror image spell to your hand.
Okay, cool.
I was playing both of those, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. Oftentimes what I found is that I would get like the first 3 spells easy, and then I would complete the quest by just holding back a book in hand and kind of going in on the girls, or maybe even 2 books, and then like completing the quest as I went in on the girls. So yeah, but no, I think it's really strong, especially against Jade Druid.
Yeah, Jackie,
I mean, another thing is that one way you can, like often in the previous meta, if your opponent used like Dirty Rat on your apprentice, that could often just be like game over.
Right.
But now with Simulacrum as well, it gives you kind of more flexibility and not just like losing to a Dirty Rat. Like, there aren't really very many Dirty Rats in the meta right now, but there might be soon again. Who knows? But,
yeah,
nice
Dirty Rat would suck, actually.
That would definitely suck. But
like, it's strong, but I feel like it could be countered pretty easily, you know, if you just want to run a couple Dirty Rats in the list.
It would still be pretty terrible to Dirty Rat a bad thing in this deck. It would be pretty devastating. But yeah, you know, because of the simulacrum or whatever it is, or simulacrum or whatever, we have to figure out how to pronounce it. This is ridiculous.
You get there eventually.
I've pronounced it 5 different ways already. But I think because of that, you can actually win games super early. Like, I was seeing him do the combo at like, I mean, he completed the quest on like turn 8 or 7 or something crazy. Like, it was insane. It was just like he completed the quest and then played the Archmage on turn 7. And it was pretty crazy that way. So that wasn't possible before, you know, like before you had to literally wait for all the pieces. Now it's like there's, instead of just having 4 pieces, you know, well, I guess 5 pieces, including Antonidas, and as well as, you know, being able to get the cards that are not already in your deck. Now you can, you know, you have extra, you know, you have like 6 out of 4 instead. So you have, you know, 4. You have like an additional 2 chances to get into that position quicker. So it was pretty fascinating to watch, and he was beating all kinds of decks like last night in rank 200. So
I think the deck works when you're running into a bunch of greedy stuff. You know, if you're playing Kazakus Priest or, you know, these other big control decks. But I still struggle immensely against aggro, because if you just don't get your you know, AoE freezes or your Doomsayers, if they're at the bottom of your deck, there's really not much you can do.
Yeah, so, that's always going to be the case, and looking for block and things like that.
It is very much an anti-control deck, and like if the meta speeds up again and people do start playing more aggressive decks, we'll probably see less
it fade away.
Quest Mage. Yeah,
and that's what generally happens, right? Like I think a lot of the community will go more towards control, because everybody after the first 2 on Reddit, it's always like, is it finally going to be a control meta, guys? That's always gets thousands of votes. And then, you know, a couple weeks later, it's like it starts to speed up again, you know. And
I think a control meta would be terrible for the game.
It would be so slow.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, people keep saying, "Oh, I can't wait for a control meta." Control meta would suck. Like, if it's a control meta, it's literally just whoever plays the greedier deck wins. It would just be a load of mill decks, which would be fun for like a day, and then people get very sick of it.
It would just take forever to get legend, because the games would just be too long.
Yeah.
We need balance. I do that all the time. I play control. I don't play aggro.
There has to be balance. I know, me too, right? That's what I do too.
It takes forever to anyway.
We're the crazy ones.
Yeah.
So I agree too. I think that people, you know, I think we need balance. Balance is what makes everything, you just feel, you know, good, because you know, when you run into a control deck, then it's like, oh, okay, great, this is like a different challenge, right? But if the challenge is the same thing over and over again, and the games will be like 20-25 minutes long too, if you do that. So oh my gosh, did you guys even try the Mill Warrior? I tried the Mill Warrior. Oh god, I played the Mill Warrior like 20 times and won 3 times with it or something like that.
Really?
4 times.
I mean, I
with
didn't
it.
do great
Oh,
with it, but I
God.
didn't do that bad.
Those are long
haven't tried
games. Those
Yeah.
are super long games. I think I played half an hour games, like a couple of those games.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's fun though, man. When you get a win with that, you're like, yes. That's like
Yeah,
that
I was actually playing.
30 minutes down.
That's
Gotta
right.
win.
Yes.
Got a star.
I was actually playing a Cthulhu Dead Man's Hand warrior earlier, and you just get
wow.
infinite Cthuns.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty good idea. Holy smokes, I didn't think about that. Yeah. You got pretty good defense too leading up to it. And then you got the armor too from that one guy, right? That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should try that too. I love that card though. Dead Man's Hand. So good.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's like just gives the warrior a completely different way to play, really.
Yeah, totally. Okay, next I guess question or segment we got here is like, how could I be so